So we decided to take our yearly road trip a little early this year. It was meant to be a much needed break from our daily routine and an attempt to intentionally disconnect from the insanity barking incessantly from the media. I intentionally don't connect my phone to my socials. So on this trip it would be used strictly for directions, maybe finding a good place to eat, or now and then to dive into a bit of history if we find ourselves in a new area. So little did I know, while we were up on Guanilla Pass above Georgetown at about 11,500 feet elevation, surrounded by dazzling blue skies and streets lined with a ridiculous amount of cars on an overcrowded Sunday afternoon, try and capture the majestic 14ers such as Mount Bierstadt and what I still consider to be Mount Evans despite its PC name change to Mount Blue Sky, while exploring old mining structures in Idaho Springs like this awesome rusty old building marked Stanley Mining Company. I guess all hell was breaking loose across all of social media in what was another attempted assassination on President Donald J. Trump by yet another lone gunman, an idealist, he's been called, who looks to me a lot more like a mentally ill patsy. I mean, the FBI has demonstrated time and time again that's its specialty, right? Recruiting and arming mentally ill patsies. I mean, this Ryan Ruth guy appears to me to be just another clout chaser online, trying to act out his hero fantasy, flying over to Ukraine and LARPing as a mercenary without any military experience, apparently being turned down by the Ukrainian Legion for being too old, possibly a security risk, masquerading as a military recruiter, which is probably where he got the attention of the feds. I suspect we'll never see any footage, even though the man had a GoPro, supposedly, among his belongings, as if he wanted to capture the moment for a broader audience. Again, make himself into some kind of a leader of a movement. And who's to say he was even carrying a gun that day? By all accounts, the serial numbers were scratched off of the weapon that he had, and that could have easily been planted there to incriminate this guy. And how many other instances of mentally ill patsies were set up by the feds with fake bombs, let's say? Do you believe everything the government tells you at this point? And the longer you cut off, the longer you disconnect from it, the more obvious the deception is. The more and more everything appears to be a Hollywood script. Our political system has been captured, and at this point, it seems to be just an extension of the entertainment industry. And as that famous Shakespearean phrase goes from Shakespeare's comedy, As You Like It, sometimes referred to the 7 ages of man. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school, and then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow, then a soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the leopard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick to quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth, and then the justice, in fair round belly, good capon lined, with eyes severe, and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6 age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a whirl too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turned again towards childish tremble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is the second childishness and mere oblivion, without teeth, without eyes, without taste, without everything. Or in another verse that likely inspired Shakespeare, Psalm 90, verse 9, "For all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. And the days of our years are 70, and if by reason of strength they be 80. Yet it is their strength, labor, and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away."